Hi, everybody. Happy Monday.
Hello, everyone. Brandon and Deb Yager. We help business owners, coaches, entrepreneurs transform their self to go transform others.
That's right. And today is episode number 6 of 6-Figure Networking Secrets, where Brandon and I actually created 6 figures in less than 10 months purely by networking. And of course,
how did we do it?
Yes. Yes.
They all want to know. Hey, Irene, Kelly Jones.
Hey, Kelly. It's good to see you. We love you both. So we're talking about today, our episode number 6 is building rapport fast, how to break it. Also, why would you want to break rapport?
Why would you want to break rapport?
We'll tell you that
Well,
in a
if you've
minute.
ever been to a networking event with a lot of people, you'll know why you want to break rapport with some.
Yes. And
to be more efficient, of course, not to be rude, to be more efficient.
Well, you're coming for a purpose, right? Like, let's get shit done here.
Yes.
And then how to do your pitch on the one-on-one. Next episode, we're going to talk more about how to pitch what you do in front of a group of people. So today, so building rapport. Well, if you haven't heard our 5-step sales selling with service series, go check it out on YouTube. Also subscribe, because we have a whole series on building rapport in the sales process that will give you even more information. For now,
step-by-step process.
Yeah, step-by-step.
So you always know where you are in the sales cycle. There's so many entrepreneurs and people that we coach around sales, because, by the way, selling is serving, serving is selling. And really, so many people are confused. Like, when do I ask? How do I know when I have enough rapport? So that's why we teach the 5-step sales model, because that's how you know where you are with your client all the way through the process. And there's a in-depth process to that. So check that out. Okay,
so picture this. You walk through the door, and we already covered the social anxiety, and you're in a powerful, confident state, and you see the room full of people, prospects that could be your potential clients. So what do? Well, you walk up and start talking to people. So what is the best strategy for that? Well, I like to get them talking first. This is my personal opinion.
Ask questions.
You want to get them talking first instead of having them say, what do you do? Because pretty much everybody at networking events are like, hey, my name is Deb. What do you do? I like to get them talking first, because I like to get information, because that is going to be how I start feeding back what I do. So it's going to be in language in which they actually listen to, right? Yep. And so when they ask, when you start asking questions, when you're doing this, you want to be in peripheral, which we talk about in the selling to serve.
So you're aware.
You want to go into peripheral, which means that you're going to notice everything that's going on.
External
their
awareness.
Body language, the tonality that they're using, the posture. Are they hunched over? Are they shoulders back and down?
Are they a little shy because they're kind of backing away and they don't really want to be with the rest of the group? There's always a few people, right? The introverts.
Yeah, the people that come, hey, how's it going? They're like, shake your hand, You want to match them. Like, building rapport is all about being as much like that person, not in an unauthentic way. It's just matching them, because our unconscious mind, so what is it? 93% of communication
is unconscious.
Which
means it's out of your awareness.
Exactly.
You can't really see it. Well, you can see it. You just don't notice it because you're not paying attention. Most people aren't.
Exactly. So you want to be as much like them physiologically, and your body language, how you show up, the way you speak, the key words you use, to make them feel comfortable, to where they'll trust you and they'll be willing to listen. That's the key. And again, this is not manipulation. This is not mind control. You're not forcing anybody to like you.
This is just basic communication.
This is basic communication.
This is basic communication. So 93% of rapport is physiology, posture, gesture, what's going on with their face. And then the other aspect is tonality. 38% of it's tonality. Yeah. So it's all about, when you're at a networking event, how memorable are you by your tonality, right? Are you soft-spoken and they can barely hear you because it's a loud group? Or are you overly loud and everyone hears you and they think now you're obnoxious because you haven't found that right gauge?
Yes.
And there's a lot of people like that.
Match their body language. If they're leaning to the side, then you lean to the side, maybe the other side. If they're crossing their arms, then you maybe cross your arms behind your back, or maybe cross your legs, right? If they have a cell phone in their hand, then you maybe get out your cell phone on the other hand, right? It's all about being as much like that person unconsciously, to where then they will trust you.
And the key is to this, to successful networking, if that's something you want to do as one of your marketing strategies, is to just be aware of what's going on. This is, again, basic foundations of communication. And so many people are unconscious of what they're actually doing outside with their body, their hands, their posture, their gesture. And so we invite people when they really want to be, if you choose to be successful at networking, to get conscious of that, get aware of it, right? How are we turning people off? And we don't even know that we're turning people off.
Right.
So many of us that do this and we're not aware of it because we don't know. And by the way, no one's going to tell you, by the way, I didn't buy with you. I didn't want to talk to you because you were loud, or because you didn't build rapport, you broke rapport before you built rapport. Well, do we need to talk about what rapport is? Probably should. What is rapport?
What is it? It's trust, essentially. It's unconscious trust. It's connection with two people.
When someone says, gosh, I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like we've connected.
Or for the woo people, I feel like we've had past lives together. Or I feel like this is deja vu.
I feel like you're like my soulmate. Oh, or you're my soul sister.
They probably won't kiss you.
They probably won't. Or you're my soul brother, right? So that's what rapport is. So that's the and why rapport. We want to build rapport because we want to get inside the client's trance. We want to get inside their energy field so they begin to like us, trust us, and we can actually figure out if we want to do business together. Figure out if business makes sense.
And again, it's all about communication. When you're in rapport with somebody, somebody is willing to listen to you and at least take on your ideas as a suggestion. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy from you. It doesn't mean that you are controlling them or anything like that. It just means that they're open to listening to what you have to say. And so when you're asking them questions, and again, if you have questions about what questions to ask, then we have a series called Selling to Serve where we break this down even further. So you just start asking them questions. One of the things that I like to ask people is like, what are you most excited about right now?
What's going on in life?
What book are you reading? Some random questions that is something different than what normal people ask at networking events, because people pretty much ask, what do you do?
What's your favorite thing to do in this city?
Yeah. And so you start asking questions and start having a conversation. And then after you start building rapport by asking those questions, you get more information about them. Then you say, so what do you do for a living? And I like it because it softens it, and you even have more data. And so whatever they say, start taking notes in your mind. By the way, we talked about this before in the social anxiety episode. If you're getting anxious, it means that you're in your head, and you need to get out of your head and turn on these. Start listening to the person, because if you truly, truly listen with an open heart, you will not feel anxious because you're truly serving them.
Right. Totally. So when you're inside, when you're in your head, you can't be present, right? You can't be present in the conversation. You can't be present in what you see with external awareness as far as eyes, gestures. You know, if you really tune in and pay attention when you're talking to someone, you know when they're not listening. You do. And you get a feeling too. And that's when you know the rapport is being broken, because they're either not interested in the conversation, or you probably need to change the conversation. Because we felt this, we've done this with coaching. When you know you've broken rapport, it's easy to get back into rapport if you're really good at it and you're skilled at it. And it's just time to shift, right? Shift the conversation.
Yeah. So you're asking questions, you get information, you find out what they do. For us, I think it's pretty easy, because I believe that pretty much anybody that's willing to do the work that wants to transform is a client. So then let's say that they're a real estate agent, or maybe they're in insurance, or they're in finances. Then when they say, so what do you do? Because it's always going to be, they're going to pass the report back to you, and then it's your time to shine. So then, because you had the information, because you are being a very attentive listener, you're going to know how to respond to that. And for an example, then you give them, I always like to go with the big picture first, like the big picture line of what you do. I help realtors increase their closing ratio by 50%. I help them maximize their communication to where when it comes down to the end of closing, there isn't any obstacles that come up because they didn't have the communication with their client. So all the problems that are along with that industry, then you can give a big picture of how you solve those problems.
Yep. Pain, and what you solve. And that goes for knowing your niche too. If you're focused on a specific networking event or networking group, then to know your niche and who you're going in there with, because sometimes you might be able to encompass a lot of different customers and you still want to have your niche and how you specifically talk to them.
Yep. So you give a big picture of how you help them, and then you can go into even more pain. Like, so you paint the picture. You know how a lot of times in business, we have problem. And the main problem is da, 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 da. And then you say, so what I do is I take people from where they are now to where they want to be in a very short amount of time. So you future pace them into the future, and you take them from problem trance all the way to solution trance. And you can do this conversationally. It's just like what you do for your 30-second pitch or 1-minute pitch. You do that on, you do it real time, one-on-one.
Great.
Do you have anything to add to that?
So you know how business owners struggle with clear communication, making the right amount of sales calls, taking action, typically fear. These are things that you'd say, so what we do is we go ahead and help you break through this. You know, and provide the solution. So
yeah, for an example is
make sure it's a clear, quick, decisive delivery when you're in a group of people networking. Yeah,
for an example, one of the ones I do is I help coaches or established coaches monetize their gifts, because the main problem is a lot of times we block ourselves in the act of sales, whether it be a process that is, you know, overwhelming. You never know where you are in the sales cycle, or maybe it's the fear of rejection because you're scared to ask for money and it's hard for you to go in for the close. And a lot of times we have these money blocks that are holding us back from charging what we're worth. And it's really sad, because every single person, I believe, in the world has this powerful gift to share. And there's a sacred spiritual process of sales and walking a client across the finish line to the close. So what I do is I come in and help that person release all that. I also give them a solid sales process for them to take their client all the way from prospect to a great connection, to a great conversation, all the way into a close, to where then you're charging what you're worth. The client is happier because you're able to better serve them. And so you could say something like that. You go through the process.
I thought you were really doing it. I was like ready to buy from you. I didn't know that was like a great example.
Right?
That was fantastic.
So that's what I usually say. And of course, if it's not a coach, then you could swap it out with real estate or finance, or because it's universal. And usually, I mean, depends on your product or service.
And we've met very few business owners and entrepreneurs that don't have money blocks. Everyone has them.
Every up level that we do, we have a money block.
Everybody has money blocks. And if you have a problem asking for money, that's a money block. Yeah. Right? If you have a problem building rapport and not getting social anxiety going to a networking event, that's a money block. If you have, if you get in front of a group of people and you're like, oh my gosh, my heart's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. That's a money block.
It could be a money block.
It's all money block. It's all tied to money.
Well, usually it
all comes back to money. How much you make, how much you don't make.
Fear, yes.
Because here's the thing. If you can't get in front of people and serve them, then how can you sell them? And if you can't sell them, then how can you serve them?
Exactly.
So that all comes back to money blocks.
Yes, it does.
They're unconscious. It's okay. We have them. I know about them.
And we let ours go as
we
soon
work
as
on
we
them.
find
That's what you do.
And each time we do let them go, then we attract more prosperity into our life.
Yeah, because you're going to raise another level and evolve, and then you're going to keep going up. So it's money blocks. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just being conscious of them. It's only bad when you have a closed mind and you don't think you have them. That's called denial.
Okay. So we're in this conversation. You're giving them a good pitch. You feel like nothing's landing, and maybe they're not even your niche client. So what do you do? Like maybe you talking to them, well, you could know that they could know somebody that could be your client. So you have the communication with them, but then there's times where you want to just break rapport.
And here's the thing, you got to have strong boundaries on this, right? You've got to break rapport. And Monica, yes, you do. You have to break rapport. And there's nothing wrong with breaking rapport if you do it in a diplomatic, professional manner.
Because people are sometimes unconscious and they'll talk your ear off about stuff that is totally irrelevant. And you're here to make money.
And here's what, when you do build a lot of rapport with, let's say with someone who's a little bit shy or maybe more introverted, they'll be like a little backpack and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I got somebody that loves talking to me.
Yeah,
and
that makes them feel safe.
It's safe.
Because you built so much rapport.
You've already created comfort. So they want to talk to you all night. So you got to You got to break rapport. Say, hey, you know what I'm really excited about? I love this. We'll continue this conversation. I'm going to go meet some other people at this networking event. I want you to do the same because this is a great opportunity to be in this group. So let's go ahead and go meet some new people. Ready, break. And you give them a little high five and say, I'm out.
Yeah, or you can excuse yourself to the restroom. I've done that too. And I've also said, oh, my husband's over there. Like I see him waving to me when he's not, like however you want to do it, do it. Or you can start coughing and then walk out. Excuse me. We talked about that in the training.
If the struggle or the challenge is upholding crystal clear boundaries, and you need to be able to just speak your word, and do what you say and say what you do, and if you want to tell someone I gotta go meet some new people, but you don't, and you hang on to it for another 20 minutes, you're gonna be so frustrated.
And you're wasting time. And you're wasting their time too.
And you're already thinking in your head, this conversation's so over. I'm so over it. That's a boundary.
And you're not serving them either because you're not truly listening, because the whole time in your head, you're like, why am I sitting here talking to this client? Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about all the other people I need to connect with.
Because if
you're
not
serving them either.
If you don't break rapport, they'll come back around later in the night or later in the morning, and they'll attach to you just like another little backpack because it's safety and comfort and security. So you want to break rapport. There's nothing wrong with breaking rapport if you know how to build it again, right? And you want to get to other people. So make the networking event, make it efficient, right?
Yeah.
You're there for efficiency. If you talk to 2 people and it was 60 people there, probably could have been more efficient. Just saying.
Yeah, again, it's all about the goal in mind. Whenever you get there, you're looking for your 5 really good clients. And so you're sifting through people, having those conversations. Are they the best client for you? And of course, have conversations with other people that may not be your client, because you may know that they have a couple of people that they could connect you with that could be your possible client. So be open to the possibility, because I've also been, I've done this myself where I'm sitting there and thinking this is a waste of time. And then it turned out it wasn't, because the person was a buyer or they had somebody to connect me with. And so then I was actually damming the flow of prosperity, and I was all incongruent when I was thinking that it was a waste of time. So always look at everything that you do that has value, that your time is worth what you're doing. At the same time, internally check yourself and see, is this the most effective moment for me? Yeah,
because we want to go to larger networking events. I mean, anytime we can get in front of a group of people and speak and talk, that's great, because most people don't want to do that. They don't want to just, hey, let me get on stage and start talking about what we do and how we can help people. We love talking about our business. We love talking about mindset and how people, if they just have a small shift, transforms their life, transforms their business, their relationship. They can make more money, be happier, healthier, wealthier.
Yep.
So we love that. So the key is, if you're going to small this is not to knock small networking events. Listen, deep, lasting relationships are great. If there's 6 people and you go to and meet those 6 people every single week, fantastic. You guys are going to have great relationships, great referrals back and forth. And that's one way to network. We personally like larger events. We'd like to go to as many people and touch as many people, because if I can meet 10 to 12 new people, Deb can meet 10 to 12 new people, Deb, either one, then we've met 20 people in a day. And if we've gotten some contacts, we can follow up with that, keep it consistent. And the follow-up is really where the magic happens. That's when you build rapport to the phone and learn that follow-up process, and then qualify yet again, take them through another filter that says, are they qualified for my business? Or is this a great referral partner that I can refer them to someone else that I know in my database? So we're all about relationships. And some people are overly about relationships, and then they don't get results. And they go, oh, networking sucks. Networking doesn't suck. It's just the approach and the strategy some people have to networking sucks. That's all. Just being brutally honest. Because I like to say what I mean and mean what I say. So if we shift our approach to networking, we can be far more efficient, meet more people, and get through more prospects. And the one thing I will say, volume cures all problems. If you're not doing enough and you had more leads, you had more prospects, if you aren't making enough sales, you're not making enough money, volume cures that, which means if you're only doing 2 sales a month and you did 20, volume would cure that.
Yep. And
Hands
just be very, very efficient in working the room. I mean, again, it's scanning the room. Are these your potential clients? Break rapport if it isn't, and then go on to the next person and really have these deep conversations with people, and be able to get around to most people that if you have the intention of connecting with 5 people, then get around and make those connections, because you're not going to have that one-on-one type of relationship, that's later in a follow-up.
It's not going to
call,
happen at the event,
right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to,
Exactly.
you want to be filtering. This is the first level of filter where you're going around figuring out, are these potential clients, are these hot prospects? And then you take them through your pre-qualification call, then going into a one-on-one, which we'll talk about later. But for now,
and we recently had that happen. Like, we were at an event and we met a gal, and we could have talked all night. I mean, it was just, we built a lot of rapport quick. And when you start learning and practicing how to build rapport, and you really hone in on your skill set, it's amazing how quick you can build rapport, long lasting. And you feel like, wow, I've known you for so long. And so we actually had to break rapport with a great conversation.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh my gosh, I can talk to you all night. And for the sake of us being both here networking for our businesses, let's go meet some new people. And she was like, oh gosh, thank God.
Empower them to do
she was
the
like,
same thing.
I'm so glad you like woke me up. Like, yeah, let's go meet some new people. And then it was like, we carried on that conversation.
We forget when we're in deep rapport, then time, space, matter, and energy, like you go into the void and you don't even realize what time it is. And so just be polite and empower them to go and get as many leads, because that's why they're there too. So yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
So it's always not bad rapport. I mean, bad to break rapport. It's okay. It's a good thing.
So check it out on Wednesday. Then we're going to talk about like getting up in front of people and what to say and how to do it. So
awesome.
Check it out. Also, we wanted to rock our Equinox shirts. I don't know if anybody's gone to their new, what is it? Virtual tour.
It's the showroom.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's really cool.
It's coming.
Yes. It's this new badass gym that's in South Congress. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous.
Austin, Texas.
Yes, if you're here locally in Austin, go check it out because it is incredible.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
You'll see us there and say that Brendan and Deb sent you. Please.
Yes, please.
Please.
Cool. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Love you all. If this is valuable to you, please share it with somebody that you love and that you know that actually would resonate with this as well. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Yager Training on YouTube.
We got other series there.
All of our lessons
1
in
through
one
5.
Place. And you can
send this to someone. Send this to someone who you would like to build more rapport with, or break more rapport with, or somebody that just maybe needs some help with networking,
or anybody that wants to make more money, because that's what we talk about, making money.
How to turn your business into a profit machine and serve customers. That's
in a spiritual way, which is we're bridging.
We merge business and spirituality. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
So
get shit done and do it in a healthy manner for the
thumbs up, like it, share it.
Higher self.
We love you.
We love you guys.
See ya. Thanks.
Bye.